Good morning, folks. This is Greg Judy, Green Pastures Farm. Today, Jan and I are out on a beautiful Sunday morning, early before it gets too hot. We've moved the steers and the bulls onto a new strip of grass here on the new farm, which is really coming along nicely. We've got a really good assortment of different grasses. The one I'm really excited about, of course, is the big blue stem. It's all over out there. And then we've got there's bluegrass, orchard grass, fescue, brome, red clover, white clover, Korean lespedeza, bird's foot trefoil, and Japanese clover.
And then a bunch of broadleaves.
Yeah, a bunch of broadleaves. Jan wanted me to point out something that the mob did. We had them on this for 24 hours. There's about 4 acres here. And now we're down to 65 head. We've taken the machos out. They're on another farm. We're going to be getting those semen tested this week.
And we sold them.
We sold some. Sold quite a few yesterday, the 2-year-olds. And so most of these are yearling bulls, and we've got 5 of our 2-year-old machos, which will be breeding our cow herd this year, along with the steers. Anyway, I wanted to show you, folks, when we talk about trampling and getting carbon on the land, look at this paddock. Yeah, I mean, everything's been trampled on the ground, okay? And we've got a good start of litter, so that's our litter bank. And the stuff that the cattle trampled on the ground, a lot of that's gonna become litter. The milkweed, this is a member of the milkweed family. The cattle just kind of laid it on the ground. They didn't eat it. The common milkweed, we found that they will eat, kinda. But this one, the way you can tell it's milkweed, just break a limb off of it. Look at that. Milk. If you touch that, it's real sticky. It's almost like glue. I would say you could probably glue a piece of paper together with that. But the cattle don't touch it. But but they laid it on the ground, and some of it will actually end up in the seed bank, on the ground, litter bank, whatever you want to term it. And I can feel the flies on us right here. A lot of flies. And that's the advantage, folks, of strip grazing, is you're keeping ahead of your fly loads. So we put a back fence in here. They cannot come back here today.
And they would not want to, other than to get in the shade.
Well, they've got shade on the end of this paddock.
But I mean, that was...
Yeah, right. We were going to roll up the wire until I remembered there was a patch of trees in the next paddock. And so when it gets up in the 90s and such, we like a shade tree, and we try and make sure the cattle have some shade if possible. They can take a few days of it, especially red-hided animals. Black-hided ones, if you lock them out on a hillside, it's in the mid-90s. That's pretty stressful on livestock, and you can expect those animals not to perform very well. They're probably not going to gain any weight that day. They might actually lose weight. So just picking the red hide, there's about a 30-degree difference in temperature on the hide of that animal on a 90-degree day. So that's a big one. So we got a lot of good trampling. They didn't eat it off too short. We still got some leaves left here. We're not going to be back here for around 50 to 60 days, probably closer to 50.
Because you're slowing your rotation? We're
slowing our rotation down. Our first rotation through this farm was about 25 days. Well, that was the spring flush, and then we got the rain, and we were being extremely blessed with rain. We got another 1.25 inches on
yesterday,
Friday night. Yeah, Friday night it rained 1.25 inches. And so it's wet out here. I like it.
We're not going to complain.
I am not going to complain. Well, Jan, let's walk across the fence over here and show the folks. So this is what it looks like in 24 hours. Here's what they're going into.
Oh, look at all the dew, honey.
Yeah. It's like it rained again last night. Look at this, Jan. This is all big blue stem. It's all in here. I would say this field is about 20% big blue, 25, Some of it might be a little higher percentage than that. And the cattle are absolutely going after it. The fescue is getting more mature. It's not as tender. I mean, that blue stem just pulls off there like spaghetti. It's really, really tender. And the animals will seek that out, and then they'll come back and they'll graze some of the other.
And trample it.
And trample it, yep. Good stuff.
So let's show them. So it's that milkweed that you...
Yeah, right here. There's a ladybug. There's a ladybug on it.
She's trying to find something.
Yep.
And we got some clover right here, red clover.
Yep, there's some white clover. There's the Japanese clover, the little yellow, And Jan, here's Queen Anne's lace.
Yep.
Wild carrot. They love it when it's this size. Once it gets up about 2 feet high, the cattle don't really go after it very well. The sheep will. The sheep will eat it.
And we got the daisies.
Got daisies. Oh, look at that. Alfalfa.
Oh, yeah.
There's some alfalfa.
So it's always good to know kind of what you have in your pastures.
Yes, absolutely.
And they ate this before.
Yep. Yep.
I bet you they'll hit that again.
That was nailed on the last pass.
Yeah.
Sure enough. And that's an ironweed.
So when it's young, they'll eat it.
They'll eat it. When it gets mature, that's when the sheep go after it.
What's this patch up here?
Big blue stem.
Wow, that's a big patch.
Big old clump of it, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep, you don't want to, if you have big blue stem, folks, you got to move your animals on it. If you leave them on a patch of big blue, they'll take it right down to the ground because it's so tender. And once you graze big blue down to the ground, there's a really good chance you could kill the plant. So you got to rotate. If you got warm season grasses on your farm, well, any farm you need to be rotating, but you won't have any of this if you set stock them. Give them the whole farm, leave them there all summer, this will disappear.
Well,
you won't have any of it.
I thought we were told that if we had big blue with fescue, it wouldn't express itself. Well, that's what some people were saying.
There's fescue all around it. I think a lot of it comes back to management. If you learn to manage your forages, you will have some big blue, you will have some fescue, you'll have brome, you'll have timothy.
Indian grass.
Bluegrass. There's a lot of timothy coming up in here, especially on that ridge up there where the cattle are grazing right now. So, yeah. Oh, look at this. Look at this. You know what that is?
Mm-hmm.
That's all Korean Lespedeza.
Oh.
Rucker, the old Rucker people used to call this, this is called poor man's alfalfa. And that's because Korean Lespedeza will grow on highly acidic, really thin soils. And if you get moisture, it'll crank. And folks, through a lot of the Midwest, specifically Missouri, it's in the seed bank. We never plant Korean Lespedeza. It's out here. The problem with Korean Lespedeza is most people overgraze it, and they don't rotate it, and they gnaw it down so short that you don't get any production from it. If you'll rotate off of this Korean, it'll get up to your knees. I've seen it as high as my waist in a really good, where you get adequate rains, let's say every 7 to 10 days, this stuff will crank. And I think we're gonna have a really good Lespedeza year.
Yeah, with the moisture.
With the moisture that we're getting, it's getting off to a good start.
And we have dews. Last year, we had no humidity.
You could put on a pair of dress shoes and walk out here in the morning and you would get 0 dew on you. This morning, I got boots on and my boots are soaked.
I'll show you mine. I didn't tuck my pants in and they're wet.
Yeah. Yep. So dew's a big one, especially when you have this much forage out here. But look, show the difference where they were from here, from a side view. You can see strip grazed, the new strip.
And then the future strip.
And then the future strip's out in front of them. Folks, if you can just start to rotate your animals, tighten them up to where you can get some of that going for you. It's going to buy you more time.
When you say that, carbon.
Carbon, yeah, we put down well, we didn't. The cow mob, the bull and steer mob. Look at all that grass they trampled. Folks, for every grass blade that you can trample on the ground with a ruminant animal, it gives you 2 back. So we just put a whole bunch of money into our savings account over there. And in the future, we can draw some interest off that savings account because we're going to grow more grass.
Right. They've manured it heavily.
Yep, but a really hard thing for people to get over is, well, gosh, Greg, why'd you move them off there? Make them eat that trampled grass. I mean, there's a lot of grass over there trampled on the ground. And if you leave them there another day, they will eat it. Well, they got it on the ground for you. Get them off of it. They're going to gain a lot better out here than they are now, leaving them on that trampled paddock for another day. But we're getting so much more animal density, more trampling by strip grazing daily. The bull farms is a fair jag from us, further than where the cows are. And so what we're doing is we've adjusted the size of our paddock to last 24 hours instead of every 12 hours. If this farm was right outside our back door, I'd probably be moving them at least twice a day, maybe 3 times a day. But it comes down to economics. You know, gasoline, they don't give it away. You drive over here, you want to make sure that trip, you know, pays you dividends. That's what we're doing. And we may invest in a bat latch, you know, an automatic gate opener, just so they can be moved at, you know, noon or twice a day or whatever, or in the evening. That's a pretty sight, though.
Mm-hmm.
The young animals, those are all young ones. They're really starting, the hair coat's starting to come off. They're really starting to put the weight on.
And this is June 2nd.
This is June 2nd, so we're tickled to death with that. With that, Jan and I are going to get going. You all have a great day. Hit that subscribe button on the way out. And I'll be seeing some of you all at the PowerFlex Appreciation Days. Check that out on their website. It's going to be held at Seymour, Missouri. And it's a grand opening to their store. They got a brand new retail store there. And I'm going to be doing a workshop there, a few talks, and that's going to be the first week of July. I don't have the exact dates, but it's like July 7th to the 9th. Seymour, Missouri.
And then this week we'll be in?
We're going to be in Columbia, Tennessee. That's the Rory Feek Homesteading Conference. I think they said last year they had 5,000 people there. This year they got 25 different speakers, and it's going to be a good time. So maybe we'll see some of y'all there. That's on Thursday and Friday, I believe, of this coming week. Yep. Y'all have a good one, and stay safe out there.